only a few pages. Good evening. I'd like to first thank the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame Board of Directors and the Selection Committee for this honor tonight. Especially helpful through this whole process was Hank Lodge and Bob Montgomery. Thank you, guys. Congratulations to all the other inductees this evening. It's indeed a pleasure to be a part of this special group. It's also a special pleasure for me to join my departed brother Jerry, who was admitted into this fine organization 3 years ago. Just coincidentally, he was admitted into this group, inducted into this group, and 6 days later, or 6 weeks later, passed away. But I can tell you that this was the highlight of the end of his life. So thank you again on behalf of him, and I'm really thrilled to join him in this organization. I'd like to also recognize Tom Monahan. Tom participates as an MC year after year after year. It's kind of like watching Channel 30 again, isn't it? Thank you, Tom. Here with me tonight to help celebrate my induction are the key members of my support group, my family. Without their support, encouragement, and incredible tolerance of my seemingly endless absence from home during my playing and coaching days, I would never have been able to participate as much as I did. My lovely wife of 50 years, Fran, is here with me tonight. Thank you, Fran. Also here is our son, Bill Jr., and his wife, Nicole, our son, Sean, our son, Dory, and his wife, Sandy. I'm surrounded tonight at my table by the source of my joy over the past 17 or so years, my grandkids. Ladies first, my granddaughters Logan, Morgan, and Peyton are all students at Bristol Central High School. And the gentlemen, we have Jared, who's a student at Bristol Eastern, Brandon and Cody, who are at Chippens Hill Middle School, and will follow their brother to Bristol Eastern. The last is Gavin, who also attends Chippens Middle School, but he's going to follow his sister Peyton to Bristol Central. All 7 grandkids participate in various sports. What does that mean? It means Fran and I are going to be spending a lot of time at the 2 high schools in the next several years. I consider myself blessed to have been born and raised in Bristol, Connecticut. It's been a city with incredible opportunity for youth participation in sports. I played in McCabe-Waters Little League from age 8 to 12. A terrific coach by the name of George Scott selected me to play on the Yankees Major League team when I was 8 years old. I spent 5 years playing for Coach Scott, and it was an excellent introduction to baseball for me. He was a good coach, but he was even a better man. At Jennings School, an industrial arts teacher named Bill Anderson coached our baseball and basketball teams. Fortunately for me, he proved to be a carbon copy of George Scott. High school was a whole different story. I went to Bristol Eastern and was introduced to a different kind of coach, Burr Carlson. At 6 feet 6 inches, he was a strict disciplinarian. As it turned out, he was also one hell of a coach. He always made the best use of the talent that was available to him and developed the talent of his players. He was as much a teacher as he was a coach. I believe that if you ask anybody that played for Burr Carlson, they'll tell you that they learned as many life lessons as they did basketball skills. In 1962, he led us to a 17-1 season and the CCIL championship. We were even ranked number 1 in the state at the end of that season. I think that speaks volumes of his ability to make the best out of the talent that was available to him. I was fortunate enough to play 5 years of American Legion baseball, 5 of the best years of my life. Having the advantage of playing for some pretty great coaches, starting with Mr. Little League, Bob Watson, He was one of those coaches. And professional baseball minor league player Rick Kowalczyk was another. Of course, Jim Bates was our coach for my last 3 years of Legion baseball. With Bob's spirit and enthusiasm, Rick's knowledge of baseball, and Jim's style of coaching, our team's success was inevitable. We won zone titles, state championships, and we were runner-up in the Northeast Regionals up in Keene, New Hampshire. That over my last few years of baseball. Enough said about baseball. You know, great and winning teams are not built around one player, or even two. It takes a team that works together to win games and championships. Once again, the sports gods smiled on me. I played with some pretty great players. Names that should ring a bell with most of you are Tom Chope, Terry Burke, Gary Palladino, Dave LaRue, Dan Harrigan, George Benoit, Pete White, Gary Bozak, Pete Longo, Buddy Pepin, Phil Manarino, Brian Hammernick. I could go on and on for the next 20 minutes. Played with some great players. As an adult, I got to play with and coach players like Mike Giovinazzo, Dave Raponi, Duke Snyder, Rick Scooter O'Brien, Bart Beersley, Steve Libby, Luke Lamboli, John Chapoulis, and many, many more. Many of these players are already members of the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame. While playing and coaching with these players, we played in the Connecticut Collegiate Summer Baseball League, the Hartford Twilight League, the Bristol Boys Club Senior Basketball League. Played a lot of years there. Summer Parks and Rec Leagues, and lots of Slo-Pitch games, softball games, and tournaments. Today there are so many more opportunities for youth sports with midget football, lacrosse leagues, soccer programs for all the age groups, indoor soccer, and a myriad of clinics for all sports. They're all available to the kids today. Bristol is still a great place to grow up and be involved in sports activities. I think what we need to do tonight is thank the people in Bristol who have made life outstanding for young athletes playing and coaches coaching in the city of Bristol. You people here tonight, the supporters of the athletes, the different athletic programs, the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame, you're the ones that keep it going. You're the ones that make these kids have opportunities to play these sports. So please keep supporting them. Stay with them, and you coaches, I don't care if you're 85, keep coaching. Okay, do you hear that, Mike? I just want to thank the board for this honor tonight. I'm thrilled, I'm honored, and I'm mostly honored to join my brother in this outstanding organization. Have a great evening. Good night.